Well, the Peru Iquitos mission is very special. The city of Iquitos itself is actually an island in the middle of the Amazon River. You can only get to it by plane or boat. So if you get a transfer, you're likely to fly there to your new area. It's all in the Amazon jungle. So it's it's amazing. It's beautiful. The church history is really special as well. In the island of Iquitos, there used to be 5 stakes, and now there are only 3. So there are basically 2 entire stakes worth of less active members, of people who once had a testimony and have lost that. So one of the best parts of missionary work is actually working with those people and finding them. And one of the blessings of finding people who haven't gone to church for a long time is they already know a lot of things, so you get to kind of like reignite that fire within them. But also that means that they've been associating with people that haven't gone to church in a long time or that aren't members. So as you work with the less actives, you find a lot of people that aren't members of the church, and you're able to teach them, and so they grow as their friends who are less active grow, and it's such a special experience. A lot of the baptisms that we had were because of the less actives that we found and worked with. In the other parts of Iquitos, in Tarapoto, they were a district when I was there, but they just barely became a stake, which is awesome. There was so much work that went into that for a lot of years. And then there's also a place called Pucallpa that I served in that had 1 stake, and it was a pretty strong stake. It was really impressive. The work really varies depending on where you are. You can be in the same city or even the same stake in a different area, and it's going to be completely different. One of the focuses of our mission, the mission logo, was actually a picture of a temple in the jungle. And that's what the people want. It is so heartbreaking to see how badly these people want a temple. They'll travel on the river for several days just to be able to go to the temple, and most of them don't have the money to do that. And so it's such a blessing to have that focus. Our focus is to build this church up to the point where it can have a temple, and these people can have the blessings that so many of us have of having a temple that we can go to at any time, really. So most of the people there belong to some sort of church. There's a lot of Christianity. There are churches like on every corner, and they're all different religions. And I remember my companion, my trainer, would talk about how hard it was to talk to people because they thought they already had the truth because they worshiped God and they thought all the churches were the same. So she'd always hold up one hand and the other one and say, you know, the churches are like the fingers on my hand. If my other hand was God, they're all pointing at him, but only one can reach. And that was one of the main focuses, is to teach them the restored gospel, to get them to understand that it is the exact same church that Jesus Christ himself established when he was on the earth. A lot of the people are going to accept what you say, but they're not going to understand why it's different from the other churches. So that's an important thing to focus on. It's also important to focus on really converting people. I think in all missions, but especially this mission, it's really easy to baptize people. I felt like I could baptize just about anyone, but actually converting them is a process. And I think that's why there are so many less actives there, is because a lot of people were baptized without being converted. But if you focus on the conversion, obviously baptism is a part of that, so it'll come with it. So I began my mission in March of 2013, and I got back in September of 2014. I served in Tarapoto in the branch Chilcayo, and then I served in Iquitos in the stake 9 de Octubre, and I served in 2 different wards. One was called Internacional and one was called 9 de Octubre as well. And then I served in Pucallpa, which is a city and a stake, and I also served in the ward Pucallpa in that stake.